Please bow your head before we start. Father, we come to you today just thanking you for the many, many blessings that you've given us here at Wetumpka. And we ask you, Lord, to continue to pour your blessings out upon us. We thank you, Father, for this council that we have, that we work with. As decisions are made to move Wetumpka forward and make it a better place, and make it a place, Father, that you can be proud of. And we just pray that you would continue to bless us in everything that we may say, everything that we may do. In Christ's name we ask. Amen. Okay, we get big. Under new business this evening, we have a request for permission to authorize extension of contract with Adams and Reeves for 12 additional months for a total of $70,000. Adams and Reeves is a firm that represents us, a legal team that represents us in Washington, represents us all the way to the State House in Montgomery, keeps us abreast of things that are going on when there's federal money available, when it's released. They have given us some good guidance. We were in a situation at our airport for a number of years to work through some issues there. They were very effective in helping us work through that to get those matters taken care of. So their contract comes back up again for renewal. So that's what this is about tonight. So any questions from the council on this?
Mayor, I actually got some questions. I'm still, I'm not sold on the amount of the contract that they increased, that they actually do the amount of work for $70,000. When we initially voted to do this contract, I was under the impression that they would really help us to identify grants that would be beneficial to the city, help us figure out ways that we could identify opportunities that would help us towards the capital improvements. And I just don't see the dollar amount. I don't see the amount of work that they've done for totaling $70,000. I'm not necessarily opposed to having them on retainer, but not at this dollar.
Okay, anyone else?
Under the contract I was reading, the regional contract is like, I understand with grant writers, if they get us a grant for $2 million, they get a percentage. Now, has nothing to do with that. If they secure a grant, well, part of their selling point was that they, got grants for different cities. Secured a $5 million grant for pedestrian, bike, and trail enhancement for the municipal client. And so, in other words, it's just a $70,000 fee. They don't get a percentage of the grant. And the contract, I don't see where do that. Did they get a percentage of it?
Is it in the contract?
No.
No, then they don't get it. For instance, right now, Coach is working with them. The guy in Washington is a guy named Keith Gray. He's working with us on a number of issues. There is a grant that we're working on now. It's a $600,000 grant that we feel very, very good about being able to get that as a match with that. But let me see if there's another one here. But Coach, are you prepared to speak on that?
Yeah, yes, I am. As you mentioned, we're working with Keith Gray on a Kyle Ripken Senior Foundation grant of $600,000, which is a matching grant of the money that we presently already have to do the football/soccer area, including the splash pad area. We don't know exactly where we're at with the entire process, because you know how grant process take, but Keith feels very confident that we have a chance of getting that matching grant. Anyone have any questions on that?
Coach, can you tell me specifically what role does Adams and Reese, will they play in that?
I'm sorry.
What role are they playing in helping to facilitate the grant? They just-
They're the ones that contacted us to inform us that the grant was available. And they know the director of the foundation personally. And so they have worked with other cities. They said that this grant of this size, foundation would love to come into Alabama, which they have never come into Alabama before with a foundation grant of this size. So that's another reason why we feel confident that it's possible that we may get it.
This team also worked in the recent legislation that was going on in prisons. The possibility of us losing the prison here and the one at Draper. But they were working on a daily basis within the legislature and with the elected officials there, trying to make sure that we secured that and we were able to retain that and keep it in Wetumpka and Elmore County.
Eric, what type of economic impact is it for us to have a prison here?
What, man?
What type of economic impact is
There's a
it
prison there?
for Wetumpka is?
700 and some odd jobs from the region. I don't know how many of those are identified here, but if you happen to go by Hardee's early in the morning, if you happen to go by Burger King, if you happen to go by Toulouse Chevron up here, you will see the employees in there spending their money, which translates back to us in a tax base. So it means a lot to us. It means a lot to us that with waterworks and sewer, which we do not own and operate, but that is a major, major portion of their business, keeping the price down for us as citizens here in Wetumpka on what we pay in water and sewer rates. If they're gone, and no longer need the services of Wetumpka Water Sewer, our rates will skyrocket. So that was one of the selling points also. Just the jobs that people who live here in the city of Wetumpka have within the corrections department would be a tremendous loss to us if we lost that.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can I speak, please?
Yes, sir.
About Adams and Reese, to have somebody in Washington that can talk to the Senate and the Congress, that's almost invaluable. And to have them in Montgomery when our legislature's in session has proved its worth in our recent Sunday alcohol sales. It brought us in line with Millbrook and Montgomery. I worked at the legislature for several years, and I know the importance of having people like that that can speak to our senators and House of Representative members. And something that we forget about when we're talking about prisons is their parents, their sisters, their children come to visit the inmates. And I see them stopping to buy gas. I see them in Hardee's. I see them in McDonald's, Taco Bell, and the eating establishments around Montgomery. And they don't have uniforms on, so you won't be able to readily identify them. But the visitation is huge. You can multiply whatever the inmate population is by about 3, to be fair.
Back to what Coach said, to take $645,000 that we have that is available to be spent on the sports complex project, MLK project. If you can take that $600,000 and parlay that to $1.2 million, that's a pretty good investment right there. And we feel good about that, and hopefully that's going to hasten right on along. As they told us, this is going to be a quick deal on this, so if this happens, then we have $1.2 million rather than $600,000 to spend on this project.
Mayor, irregardless of the things that you guys talked about, they sound good in theory, but still $70,000 in taxpayer, $70,000 taxpayer money, I still just haven't seen the return on that investment. And I just wouldn't agree to support that again at that dollar amount.
Then we'll move on to item 2, which would be professional service agreement for 1 year in the amount of $32,000. Recreation and leisure services for Coach Ron Dickinson. That is being asked for renewal this evening also. Any questions on this?
I do have another question, and I don't know if you can answer this, or perhaps Coach Dixon may ask it, but of course, we've had plenty of conversations about hiring Parks and Rec director, and my concern is we continue to do a 1-year contract, and we don't hire a Parks and Rec director. That's not showing, to me, vision or planning for our sports complex. In terms of, because at this point, I don't really know if Coach Dixon is his job requirement going to be to help promote and market the sports complex or manage recruit tournaments. What's going to be his additional role versus what he does already? So how is that going to help us?
I think when you see how that reflects here is recreation and leisure services, that's exactly what it's implying. And that's exactly what Coach has done this last year under this contract. So it will be a continuation of that. But that's what this is about tonight, is renewing that contract.
So why don't we do a 3-year contract versus a 1 year? Why are we doing 1 year at a time?
Coach has never requested it to be done another way. I don't know.
Do you understand my point, Mayor, is that in order to, we've invested millions of dollars in the sports complex, but we haven't invested in the human resources of managing that sports complex long term. We're gonna have that sports complex for years to come, but we haven't invested into the human capital to adequately, in my opinion, manage it long term. And if we keep doing it 1 year at a time, that's not good planning, in my opinion, in terms of how we're gonna.
Okay, I think the overall from the ones from when it was constructed, brought Coach in the position that he's in. Right now, it has not fully been determined what you're going to manage. You do have softball and baseball over there.
That's the start.
We know what soccer does, but if you look at softball is managed within that league. Baseball is managed within that league. Soccer is managed within that organization. So we're not looking at bringing someone in that's going to manage baseball, softball, soccer, and anything else that might be affiliated with this. Archery is coming in over there also, but it's going to be managed by conservation department.
So what about the coordination of all those different leagues, Mayor? If each one of them is gonna have.
I think that is a very good point, but I think until you get them sleeping in the hotels over here, to go out and chase major tournaments, to bring major tournaments in here, which we have done before. We know the numbers that we can put over there. If you can't sleep them and you can't feed them, you're not making any money off of them. Once we turn the corner on this, with the recruitments that we're doing for this hotel that's coming up, additional hotels to come, additional restaurants that we're working on to bring to this city, then that's when we realize a tax base off of this when the people come in to play these tournaments. But right now, and I think there is a time and there is a place, but I don't think, in my opinion, that we are quite there yet to go out and invest in an individual to come in and organize and work with all of these programs until we get them in place. It's not fully built yet. When it's built, then there's going to be a need. And that leisure services is not only for recreation, that leisure services plays all the way back down to your senior citizens, the senior citizens center, and the activities there. So that's all a part of leisure services. So I think it's kind of like getting the cart ahead of the horse.
I kind of disagree with you, Mayor. I think if you have a person who could play a major role in the planning and development of what we're trying to do, if you know we're going to eventually have to coordinate the use of the sports complex between soccer, between football, between softball. If we're gonna recruit tournaments, I think we need to have somebody who can help us coordinate that. And if I'm not really clear if that's gonna be Coach Dickerson's role or not. And if it is his role, why are we only doing it 1 year at a time?
Well, I think that's the
Can I-
way
can I
we
make
just
one-
chose
one-
to do it at this point in
Can I
time.
make
Coach, am I
one-
okay with that?
Right.
Can I make one other point? I
Yes.
think if we have those tournaments taking place, that creates demand for hotel developers or restaurant chains or whatever. I think that's an easier sell when you have those tournaments in place versus saying we're going to get them. So that's my point of this. I think in my opinion, we're approaching it a little bit backwards, in my opinion. I would like to see us do it differently. I think it's important that we invest in someone who can make the collaborative effort between all the different organizations and be a spokesperson for the city, and also help the city determine if there's gonna be an economic return on this complex, or how much can we possibly make. We may not ever make enough money to pay for it in and of itself, but we certainly can make some money from marketing the tournaments. We can make money from the sale of concessions there. And if we don't have a person in place who could sit down and draft that as a strategic plan or business plan, I feel like we're kicking the can down the road. I don't think we're addressing the issue.
Point well taken. Okay, the next item is
I've got
permission to
I've got a
purchase.
question, Nick, okay? I've got a question on this. Another reason that we're looking at not hiring someone, we're saying there's a layer, is because our salaries are not 56% of our budget. When the original budget came out, I think we're actually we're less than 56%. And we want it to be 50% less. Now, if we kept our same expenses and our salary was 50% of our budget, we would have to reduce salaries by $680,000. Now, if we kept our salaries presently what they are now, in order for it to be 50%, our expenses would have to go to a little over $1.3 million. And of course, in order to cover that, our revenues would have to go up $1.3 million plus 2%.
And how is that done? How would you,
The point I'm making-
how would you elevate the revenues?
I'm not through making my point. The point I'm making is we're kicking it down the road. All I'm addressing is we've been told that we can't hire someone because our salary's too high. Well, we'll never get 52. We're looking at kicking the can down the road because we're not going to reduce salaries. And if we wait until I don't know if a business is going to come in that's going to raise our revenue $1.4 million, in the near future. I'm just addressing that argument that our salaries are too high.
So what are you suggesting that we do with our salaries?
I just don't think we're gonna get to that point. It's almost, well, one of the things that could be looked at, and of course it may not be happening, it might be some people that could be moved around. We may have someone that's doing such a good job that we can have someone as a contractor in a different location and have this person be in charge of what is the leisure services, which would be in charge of the youth and the senior citizens. We could have a contract at a different end and someone else could be moved around and the salaries stay where they're at. And I don't know. I'm just saying that it's something to be looked at.
Isn't Coach working on tournaments now?
Yes. Yes.
I wasn't aware of that. So I'm glad you made that point, Ms. Gordon, but that's not something that I was aware of. So I'm glad that point was brought out.
I think coaches work very hard to get us on.
But that's not the point that I'm making with the coaches working hard. I certainly agree with you wholeheartedly on his work, but it's not about Coach Dickerson. It's about the future of our city in terms of parks and recs. That's what this issue is about.
And many of our tournaments have got canceled for lack of interest.
That's not true.
They've scheduled them.
That's not necessarily true, Mr. Gann. It's because we don't have hotel space that they got canceled.
One-day tournaments where they don't need them.
We haven't had that many.
We have had some one-day tournaments canceled.
Well, if we did, it's not a lot of them.
That's not our fault.
That's not our fault.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, let's move on to item 3, permission to purchase SL radio interfaces. And interfaces and components from the Hurricane Electronics of Montgomery LLC in the amount of $15,630.88 through the state bid contract for police and fire.
Mayor and council, ever since I've been here for 15, 16 months, we've had a major radio problem. The radios for the police department have been changed in 22 years. You can see how far behind we are. We've got like 2 cans of a string. We got officers out there on the street, we got people out there that needs us to respond to them, and we can't get past the rest area up there. I live on Harriet Springs, I can't even monitor my own units up there because it doesn't go. So we tried every way in the world. Chief Willis and I have been in 30, 40 meetings about this thing to get a better radio system that we could afford. Everything we looked at was $280,000 to $300,000. And plus we have to have a tower built, which is another $200,000. We've gotten to the point that we checked with other departments our size. Chief Willis and I met with other people with Southern League, so what we were proposing is we go to Southern League. We wouldn't have to have a tower built. We would be operating off the satellite, so there wouldn't be any problem on where our units would be. We'd be able to copy them, and they'd be able to copy us. We could hear radio phones. But that's what we've asked for. This is the cheapest thing we could get for our purpose, and it worked. We checked agencies the size of Wetumpka, and they have no problem with it at all. Later on, it will be expanding. We will have to make some adjustments later on, but right now, we're talking about the whole system for the $14,000, $15,000. Also, Chief Willis has to have, this is the second thing, number 5 on it. He has to have a recorder for his system to be certified. Our recorder at the police department has been down for 8, 9 months. We couldn't afford to buy one. That's the second, number 5 there. 4, I'm sorry. The number 4, 3 and 4. That is the purchase of a recorder. That records everything that comes through our radio system. It can be set up on our phone system. The fire department, each call they get, we can reproduce it, monitor it, and put it on CDs. We get subpoenas all the time for DUIs or arrests, and we can't produce it. So we have to go back over a handheld recorder and produce it. And this will be more quality for us. But we would certainly appreciate you considering this is really nothing for a radio system. But, Chief?
I just say this is pretty much a challenge throughout, first responders throughout the country, and it's an expensive challenge. And it comes down to technology, and we're sort of trying to predict what we'll be holding in our hands 5 years from now, and none of us is gonna look back 5 years and expect to be where we're at. Having said that, this is sort of the first step we've got to start taking into this technology, and it's a safe first step. Our mission's always been to accomplish it, but make sure that it's something that if things change, that it's still something we continue to build on and use. So this is just sort of the foundation of us being able to step out to update, to get, I won't call it modern, but in catching up to what the technology will do.
Okay, on that, can we go ahead and discuss item 4?
The recording system?
Yes.
The recording system is actually, I believe, $14,000. Emergency management will pay the first $10,000 on it. Chief Willis and I plan to split the difference, so it doesn't cost either one of us that much, but it will remain at the police department. It still covers him, it covers anywhere we want to do it as far as City Hall, or it will stay stable, but we can promote different lines to it at the police department.
Okay, so to cover both of these items, what you're talking about,
Yes, sir.
and for the police's part and for the fire's part of this, what would be coming out of the general fund budget would be $9,857.94, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the fire fee fund would pay the fire side of this, right? Another $9,857.94. Is that correct?
This system is compatible with some of the radios we have now. And we wouldn't have to take the radios out the car, so it'd be compatible with some of that.
Any questions?
I've got, so you're gonna piggyback with the radios you've got, you'll go into the digital,
No,
you'll still be analog.
we'll be, same thing Southern.
Okay, that,
So we'll be tower free.
Okay.
We'll have access anywhere we can come up with code, we can talk with it. We can talk with sheriff's department where we can't now.
The, Councilman, the answer to the question is that it will take the Southern Link radios they use, the analog radios they currently use, and the county's digital system, and simulcast between the both. So there's at a 0.02 second latency, they'll talk amongst all these systems without any silence,
As it is now, we have no communication with the county whatsoever.
without having to build our own system. So they can still use the system that, but the long-term point is to move off the analog into the Southern Link area. We won't have to buy our own system if we use theirs.
Basically what I was saying about, we're keeping a foot in the analog, but we're stepping up the capability to do the transition into the digital. So it'll actually be some of both initially.
The systems we use now, if we work in a ball game or we work in a parade or something, we have to use the system through the dispatchers. When we go to this, we'll have separate radios and we can have a patch. So we can put that detail on the radio system itself that we don't have now. Fireground will do the same thing, up to 1.5 miles, I believe, on a fireground.
Anyone else?
One quick question, Chief, could I understand correctly, sir? Currently, right now, the city doesn't have a way to communicate with the county.
No, sir, we don't. We haven't, since, I've been here for 16 months, we've never had since I've been here. I don't know prior to that.
Well, when the county went to digital, they can monitor our radio transmissions because we're on analog. However, our system doesn't allow us to monitor their transmissions, so if Elmore County deputies are coming into town with something, unless, Elmore County Dispatch notifies our dispatch, our guys have no idea, if they're coming our way.
They run, most of the time run a one-man car. We run a one-man car. If one needs some help, we'll be able to communicate with them. Now, we don't.
Okay. All right, thank you. And I think that covers 3 and 4, gives us everything we need there. Okay, item 5, special events / GS Gold Star Park, May 21st, 2016, exclusive use BSA Venture Crew 380 fishing tournament. That's from 7 to 8 a.m. and then again at 3 to 4 p.m. Is that correct?
I'm Craig Chalker, I'm the senior advisor of the Venture Crew 380. This is my co-advisor, Alexis Jackson. What we got here, we've got a program, it's High Adventure Scouts. Co-ed union, she's a former scout of mine. This is a kid-led thing. It's not like Bassmasters or anything. We just want to set up a little table in an awning and have a registration in the morning. We're not going to be fishing, you can fish anywhere you want to. It's one bluegill. You bring it in. We're doing it as a fundraiser and maybe get some recruitment for our crew. And we just want permission to use it for 2 hours during the day. I mean, just anywhere. We've had some flyers out. This is 15, 16, 17-year-olds are planning this and doing everything on it. We're just there to give them support.
Okay,
Yeah, we're just
you're
asking
gonna
permission.
need, will you need the boat ramp blocked
No,
out? Or do you
well,
need that?
We just need someplace to put a card table and a little awning where we can sign people up and have a scale there and after.
if you're in Gold Star Park, you want to need a drone, we got that.
Okay, that would be great. But, we can have kids do everything. We just stand there and watch it. If they need adult things, that's what we do.
We just had 2 seniors at Wetumpka High School get a full scholarship on the fishing team, so this is beginning to be a big deal.
Well, this is something they thought up themselves, and they have done a lot of hard work on it, and we would just like to listen to it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and enter on into the council meeting.